brought to you by Vision Express. KUAM News Headlines, presented by Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years. Matson and the Adai Tano program. The all-new 2018 Kona by Hyundai, available at Cars Plus. IP&E Fueling Excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dededo. Always open, always local.
Ahead on primetime, FEMA officials assessing typhoon damage around the island. Plus, trainers are on island to help bring the number of DUI-related accidents down. And a tropical disturbance in our area will bring some heavy rain and possible flooding. Get those umbrellas ready.
Half a day and good evening.
Full recovery is going to take time and money. Federal and local government officials are now out assessing the damage to homes caused by Typhoon Mangkhut.
FEMA reps on Guam are taking a close look to help the governor determine if a major disaster should be declared and if a request for help should be sent to the White House.
Federal officials at the ready.
It looks like they put the board up there to reduce the leakage.
More than a week after Typhoon Mangkhut hit the Marianas, FEMA officials begin surveying the aftermath, starting with this wooden tin home along Chalancota and Dededo. The storm damage so significant it left several living here displaced.
With it being the only kitchen and it is attached to the house, I'm gonna deem this the major.
I'm gonna cover it for the personal property loss.
Yes.
The family currently living in the shelter as they work to pick up the pieces.
We do have a tree that probably felt kind of damaged a little bit on the side here.
Right.
Officials taking note of the mess. Peter Sesson is FEMA spokesperson.
This is the first home we visited doing IA or individual assistance preliminary damage assessments, and this kind of information is, will be the information gleaned from here will be given to the governor so he can make a decision on whether or not to do a major disaster declaration that'll be sent to the president.
Governor Calvo met with multiple agency heads at Guam Homeland today, talking post-Mangkhut as recovery mode is ongoing.
It'll have to be something that is determined to be of such severity and magnitude that is greater than what the government of Guam can handle or take care of on its own.
We want the people to know that this in no way guarantees federal assistance. Again, this is just preliminary, and recovery really begins at a local level.
FEMA officials say don't wait. If you haven't already, you may want to take photos of your property and gather all documents as storm damage assessments continue throughout this week. Though many are cleaning up from the storm, weather officials say now's the time to prepare for more flooding. You heard that right. Get ready for another potential major downpour. The National Weather Service issuing a hydrologic forecast for the Marianas as meteorologists predict more flooding could occur. Paul Stanko is senior forecaster, saying the potential heavy rainfall is expected to hit this weekend.
There is another tropical disturbance that's a little bit to our southeast, and while it is not expected to develop significantly before it comes through here, it can still dump a lot of rainfall. So that's what we're tracking right now. Rainfall would be the biggest threat we would anticipate from this system.
Those living in flood-prone areas should prepare, as he says there will definitely be more wet weather that could bring anywhere from 10 to 20 inches of rainfall starting Friday.
In the wake of an FCC commissioner's concerns over the diversion of Guam's E911 funding, senators heard testimony Wednesday to allow the Public Utilities Commission to investigate complaints and to increase the penalties for violations. Nestor Lacanto reports.
Communications Committee Chair Senator Talina Nelson is the author of the bill.
There has been concerns with the FCC on how this money has been used and allocated, and so now we are introducing a bill to address some of those issues and perhaps deter those practices.
FCC Commissioner Michael O'Reilly has been a vocal critic of 911 fund diversion and has raised the issue with multiple jurisdictions across the country, including Guam. The Guam PUC is the local regulating body that oversees collection of the $1 monthly surcharge meant to maintain and enhance the 911 system. Commission Attorney Fred Jarecki says the PUC supports the measure and is addressing O'Reilly's concerns.
The Commission has already undertaken an investigation of the allegations concerning misexpenditure of funds, and that is ongoing now.
Acting Fire Chief Joey Nicholas, in a letter to the FCC in July and in previous testimony at the legislature, acknowledged that about $500,000 from the fund was used for other general fund expenditures, that he maintains it did not degrade 911 operations. In fact, he says, GFD is now working on plans for a new system.
We are taking a major step forward in the full replacement of the E911 system with the next generation 911 system. The announcement of the request for proposal is set for the end of this month.
For KUAM's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Now to a frightening moment early Monday after a man allegedly goes into a Zonia home attacking a woman known to him and another man using a metal baseball bat. Mkhitaryan Mkhitaryan is charged with home invasion, burglary, aggravated assault, and family violence, each with a special allegation of possession of a deadly weapon in the commission of a felony. Court documents state the woman awoke to find the suspect inside her home. He's accused of then swinging the metal bat, hitting the woman in the arm multiple times, and shattering the bedroom glass windows before chasing after the other man inside the room. At least 3 children were inside the home at the time of the alleged incident. One of them called the cops. Responding officers found the bat in front of the home and questioned the suspect before making an arrest.
A 16-year-old boy accused for his part in a robbery near a Timining restaurant is being charged as an adult. Court documents name Devin Joel Guerrero as the suspect who allegedly snatched a purse from a tourist in the rear parking lot of Lone Star Steakhouse on Sunday. He, along with Roy Craig Guerrero and Cameron Jose Guerrero, are charged with theft and robbery. Roy is additionally charged with possession of the drug ice. Documents also state the robbery had gone bad after bystanders tried to chase after the suspects, and they got away. Police later caught them after getting details from witnesses about the getaway car.
Of all the Italian speakers on island, defense argues authorities used the wrong one. Public defender Rocky Kingri, in his filing earlier this week, resubmits the arguments that his client Nicola Marinelli did not fully understand his rights when he reportedly confessed to installing skimming devices on 2 local ATMs. Marinelli, as reported, requires an Italian interpreter. During the interrogation, police used Robert Fraccassini, a counsel agent, as an interpreter. Defense argues that under the Vienna Conference Treaty, Fraccassini can only help the defendant arrange legal representation, not waive his rights to an attorney. Judge Maria Senzon has taken that motion under advisement. One is too many. From 2012 to 2016, a total of 7 people died from DUI-related accidents here on Guam. During that same time frame, 181 sustained injuries from DUI-related accidents. This data coming from GPD's 2016 Citizen-Centric report.
This week, trainers from one of the leading states in DUI enforcement are here to help local and federal officers bring our numbers down. Here's more. National data is sobering.
It's huge. You know, when we talk about we're trying to reduce fatalities, we're saying that there's a fatality every 60 minutes that's related to somebody who's drunk or impaired by drugs. And so we're trying to knock those numbers down.
Gilbert Police Department Sergeant Robert Martin is one of 3 visiting officers on island to do just that.
Arizona is one of the states that leads in DUI enforcement. And so the governor's office here got in contact with our governor's office of highway safety and asked if they could have some instructors come out.
Local and federal officers are getting trained this week on what to look for when patrolling the streets. Typically, traffic violations are the first signs a driver may be under the influence of alcohol or drugs. This includes weaving out of lanes and not stopping at a traffic light.
Well, the first thing that affects on people is their judgment. We're not only focusing on alcohol, but we're also focusing on drug-impaired drivers. And what it does is it allows the officers to spot them on the road, to get these people off the road, and to put them through some evaluations to see if they are impaired, and then remove them from the roadways. So the goal here is to reduce crashes, both to protect people and property.
Officers are also getting refresher courses on field sobriety tests. Should you get pulled over on suspicion of drunk driving, these tests are voluntary. There are 3 types of tests: the horizontal gaze nystagmus tests.
And that's where we're looking at their eyes and to see if they're jerking. So alcohol and some drugs will cause eyes to jerk when they're focusing on a stimulus. That's something that somebody can't control, they can't stop.
The one-leg stand test and the walk and turn test.
And that's one where you see we have them walking in a straight line, then turning around and walking back again.
All these tests are developed by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and are based on decades of data. If you're on the road and suspect another driver may be under the influence of drugs or alcohol, Sergeant Martin says call 911 and stay away. Trainings round out on Friday, the same day the Guam Police Department will be conducting DUI sobriety checkpoints from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. along all major Guam roadways. The Guam Election Commission is giving candidates and political action committees until tomorrow to file their campaign finance reports, or they will each face a $1,000 fine. Senatorial candidates Javier Atlig, Maria Tenorio Milligan, Attorney General candidate Gary Gumatato, and the People for Progress PAC have not filed their final primary election campaign contribution and expenditure reports, according to the GEC. In a unanimous vote, the GEC board decided to issue a $1,000 fines if final campaign finance reports are not turned in by Thursday. The deadline to turn in finance reports was Friday, September 14. That's last week, but the board decided to extend the deadline for late filers. People for Progress, a PAC supporting the Tenorio Attic gubernatorial team, has not filed any campaign finance reports for the primary election. They filed an organizational report in 2016 and an additional report for the 2016 senatorial election, but hasn't filed any paperwork with the GEC for the last 2 years. According to their last filing, People for Progress has raised $116,000 and spent $29,000. The PAC is headed by Rachel Taimanao Azuzu. The PAC had previously said it does not have to file any information with the GEC. People for Progress said their group does not fall under the legal definition of a quote-unquote committee, and that their 2016 filings were done as a courtesy, according to correspondence with the GEC.
Well, Chris, it's that time again to bring you more candidates who will be making their way to the general election this November. Joining us on D18 tonight will be Democrat senatorial candidate Jack Hatchick III and Republican senatorial candidate Kenjo Addett. It's your chance to interact with the candidates. Watch our live stream on Facebook and post your questions in the comment section so we can get it to them. Then join us on the after party as we bring you Sanjay Sharma and Kate Baltazar and our analysts in studio to talk everything election and about how tonight's candidates did on the show. D18 tonight's coming up right after primetime.
Stick around for more news here on Primetime.
You're watching KUAM.
There are more ways to experience Guam via KUAM News, giving you what you want, when you want, and how you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using.
When we face an uncertain path, when we struggle with life's challenges, and when the unexpected happens, it's a beautiful day. We rely on the people we trust, it's a beautiful, who we can always count on. And to the ones who give us the most care throughout the years. Rely on Calvo's Select Care to give you the comfort and security you need wherever you are. Gov Guam employees, retirees, and survivors, enroll today.
Where can you find a burger inspired by flavors from near and far that mixes the smoky with the sass of the South? Combines the sweetness of summer with the tang of the country for savory, sizzling, unexpected flavors. Well, you can find it at McDonald's. The new Bacon Smokehouse Burger. It's the newest flavor of the signature crafted recipes by McDonald's.
I registered to vote because I understand it's important for my voice to be heard, especially concerning issues that will affect me and my island.
So whether you're young
or young at heart,
Please register.
Zambota.
Afade, I'm Simon Sanchez. I'm running for the CCU, and I approve this message. Let's continue our progress.
Welcome back. The island is a step closer to tuition-free trade schools and colleges. The administration announcing the award of a $1 million Department of Interior grant to fund education and training for 193 students on Guam who graduated in 2017 and 2018. The money would benefit those high school grads eligible for the program at either the Guam Community College or GCA Trades Academy.
We have 190 some folks that are going to be that go through this program and are going to come out with a skill set that's going to allow them to improve the quality of lives of their families. It's going to increase, it's just going to make Guam a lot of better place.
The program ultimately hopes to allow for more people from Guam to get a career in the tourism and hospitality or in the construction industries. Applications will be available from September 20th, that's tomorrow, to October 4th at GCC's Financial Aid Office, GCA Trades Academy at the East-West Business Center, or the Guam State Clearinghouse. You can find out more by calling the Guam State Clearinghouse at 475-9384.
Guam will get another $2 million in Compact Impact funding. In a news release, the U.S. Interior Department said the money can be used to help defray the educational impacts of migrants from the freely associated states. Guam and Hawaii were the most heavily impacted and received more than 90% of the $4 million in additional funding. The DOI says Secretary Ryan Zinke was briefed on the issue by Governor DeCalvo during his recent visit here. GovGuam will also get an additional $177,000 from prior year unspent Compact Impact funds. Guam was allocated $15 million this year for the estimated 17,000 FAS citizens living here.
Well, the Office of the Attorney General of Guam has awarded FY 2017 Victims of Crime Act grants to Sanctuary Incorporated of Guam, Guam Legal Services Corporation, Disability Law Center, Erica's House, Victim Advocates Reaching Out, Victim Service Center, Automated Victim Information Notification System, and the Guam Police Department. According to AG Elizabeth Barrett Anderson, these organizations provide direct services to victims, and these grants will afford them resources to continue these critical services. The grants totaled a little over $1 million.
Good news coming out of our nation's capital as the U.S. Department of Agriculture has awarded more than $313,000 in new federal grants. Guam's Department of Agriculture is set to receive over $242,000 in Farm to Table Guam will receive a little over $70,000 for fiscal year 2018. According to Congresswoman Madeline Bordallo, quote, these federal grants support our local farmers and will help to increase sustainable agriculture on Guam, which means healthier food options and more money kept on island, end quote.
Well, with September being Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, Congresswoman Madeline Bordallo's office has also announced that the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration Center for Substance Abuse Prevention has awarded a $1 million grant to the Peace Partnerships for Success program. The program is coordinated through the Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center and provides training and educational resources on suicide prevention and substance abuse issues.
Construction Warriors is a new program to bolster the local labor force. The Guam Contractors Association will hold a career exploratory event for middle and high school students. GCA President James Martinez says it will include hands-on demonstrations where the students can work with the tools and equipment used in the construction trades.
The thing that we're doing as an association is reaching out to our local residents, and we're tapping into probably one of the biggest resources that we have for the industry, which is our middle and high school kids. So we want to be able to share with them the opportunities that are available in the industry with the hope that, when they get out of high school, after they graduate, that they would consider a career in construction.
Martinez says reducing our reliance on skilled foreign labor will boost the local economy and help reduce costs to construction companies. But it's important that those who want to join the construction trade learn the skills and receive the necessary certification for the work.
The 14th annual LifeWorks Guam Candlelight Memorial Service Out of the Darkness, Our Community Walks will be held Saturday, September 22nd at the Microregion Mall Gallery awning. Show time is 5 a.m. and go times 5:30 a.m. At 7 a.m. there will be a light breakfast, and at 7:30 a.m. a memorial service for those we've lost to suicide will be held. Pre-registration now $10 at Mark's Hardware in Anigua or Hornet Sporting Goods in Tamuning. For more information, you can call Marie Halloran. The number is 632-0257.
And with regional headlines, here's KSPN2 News.
Half a day Guam, here are the top headlines for CNMI. Local PIOs are getting some special training here in the CNMI, making a smooth connection between them and the media.
I think we're partners in getting information to the community.
61 participants from different government agencies in the CNMI have gathered for a special public information officers training course. And the guest speaker, Battalion Chief Mike Franamos, joins us all the way from Williston, North Dakota, with his first overseas presentation.
Today I talked about public information officer and how important that role is, and also how we as public information officers can be utilized as a marketing agent for the organization.
The main takeaway here is that people have an insatiable appetite for content. They're constantly wanting news, they're constantly wanting information. And one of the biggest things about being a public information officer that Mike here mentioned, as well as many of the representatives here at this training, is that we got to have a relationship that's constructed on building a strong foundation of conversations between PIOs and the media. And it's important across every sector of the community, whether it be the government, law enforcement, nonprofit, private sector.
The training course focuses on how to gain a constructive conversation between the two agencies, getting the correct material out to the public while still being on the same page.
A lot of people look at it as an adversarial relationship. It's them versus us. And I've never looked at it that way, having a journalism background, that we are partners in getting whatever information it is that we need to project to the community to get it out there through the news media.
Achieving the common goal of giving the public the right information at the right time.
The biggest, most important thing is that there's a constructive, synergistic relationship between you, myself, the community, the governor, the government, and law enforcement.
For more news, visit SaipanTV.com. For KSPN2, I'm Ashley McDowell.
And sports is next, but first a look at your island weather.